Running back rankings is, in my opinion, the most important thing that you could have nailed down going into redraft season. I mean, you're going to have your priorities and your values set out for you to make sure you have the most efficient and best draft that you could possibly have entering into redraft season. But of course, I am Nader, and this is Fantasy Football Spaces alongside Tipp and Nicho. Hey guys, is talking about running backs the greatest thing ever or what?
I love it. I mean, when I first started playing fantasy football, that's what the premier position was. It was a running back. If you didn't have LaDainian Tomlinson, if you didn't have, Sean Alexander, one of those top tier running backs on your team, and hell, sometimes two really good running backs, you were not a good team. So that's what I remember. Running backs being really specific to fantasy.
Yeah,
I remember my first ever draft pick was Adrian Peterson. Running backs run the NFL and they run fantasy football. So I'm super excited to talk about it.
I mean, I still think they do. I think if you don't have a good running back crew, your team significant disadvantage. You could work with weaker wide receivers, in my opinion. You could find some PPR monsters. You could find some guys to slip in good weeks, good systems. But you can't really do that for running backs. Running backs, if you don't have somebody that you know is going to get 15 plus touches or at least 5 receptions, then you're hobbling it into a weaker scenario, in my opinion. So that's why we're going to be talking a lot about running backs, their rankings, and discussing, debating, and of course, arguing who should go in what position, because you know what? You got to find the value in the positions that you do, especially in considering the ADPs becoming a little bit more of a gospel, if you will, where, hey, one player is ahead of the other. So you want that player over this player over that player behind him. And we're going to be discussing, debating all that because we had just the pre-meeting before the show. And I just sat here and I was ready to argue with Tipp on his rankings on it because I couldn't believe some of the players that he had in those positions. And I was like, this is not correct. Right, Nicho?
You nailed it.
There we go.
You nailed it. What are you talking about?
Yes, he agrees. He agrees. Looking at your rankings, nothing was right. Nothing was right in your rankings.
Not a single thing.
Not a goddamn thing. But of course, you know what? We're going to be talking all about running back rankings, maneuvering, and all that. But of course, make sure to hit the subscribe button on YouTube and of course at XSFF Space. Make sure to, of course, follow the socials as well to make sure that you're staying up to date on any type of news, activity, and of course, rankings that we update on the channel. And of course, you're also going to want to make sure that you listen on any podcasting platform. And if you do, leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe on the YouTube channel as well. But of course, we are going to head on to the news and notes.
NFL headlines.
First, look, I got to talk to you about these dog days of the summer, guys. I am sick and tired of it. Although the World Cup has kind of helped us out a little bit. But Nicho, I know you got some news for us, man. Talk to us about it because I hear that there might be an old familiar friend returning to LA.
Yeah, so according to Shefty on the Pat McAfee show, Aaron Donald told the team that he wanted to go to the facility and work out with the Rams, obviously talking about the Los Angeles Rams, who just picked up Myles Garrett in the offseason. My guess is in the end, he will be coming back to quote unquote play for the Rams if he does come back.
Wow.
Obviously, he's thinking very hard about it, and it has to be awfully enticing, end quote. Listen, that could you imagine that defense?
I mean, they already had a stout front line last year. And of course, they completely upgraded with Myles Garrett. And then they go back to Aaron Donald. That's tough. Tough division already. That's even tougher. That's crazy.
How many years has Aaron Donald not played now? Has it been 3 years?
Two?
2 years?
So.
Since he won the Super Bowl, right?
No, did he walk out? Did he walk out on the sunset? Did he do that?
Oh, looks like we need a
oh snap. Here. Okay.
Donald.
Okay, well look, either way, I mean he's a middle-aged 35-year-old. He's a freak. I get it. But there's also other freaks on the field. I just don't know, man. I mean, I get it. He's not gonna be asked to do a lot, not like what he was in his prime. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah,
Listen, all I know is that if he
What was
does
that?
decide to, get off the couch and come join the Rams, I mean, obviously they have the super team built out. So, if he's going to come back, it's not going to be to, someone else. It's literally going to be to the team that, he won a Super Bowl with and wants to play alongside Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Obviously, all rumors at this point. But not necessarily anything concrete, but it's something to keep your eyes on in the fantasy community, especially if you are looking to maybe draft other running backs in that division. In other news, James Boyd of The Athletic reported that Daniel Jones has been cleared to do everything ahead of training camp. Throw passes, run, eat, sleep.
Hopefully not run. No, he doesn't need to run.
Well, obviously that is something that, would affect him, coming into this year, coming off the Achilles injury. But, considering that is a pretty severe injury, it's very encouraging to see that, he is essentially cleared to do all football activities. So, I think that really helps, obviously the Alec Pierces of the world, the Downs, the Jonathan Taylor, just that whole offense as in general, because, we saw that without Daniel Jones, it was pretty vanilla. Any thoughts there, gentlemen?
Oh God, Tipp, kick it off.
No, I mean, look, I just think that this team had its luster at the beginning of last season when they strung off all those wins. Everybody was like, "Oh, this is a contender," and then they get Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner gets hurt a couple weeks after that, and it just the team falls apart. So I no, I'm not gonna fall for it. I'm not gonna sit here and say Daniel Jones is going to save this team or anything like that. He's coming off the injury. I know that they got that new thing that Aaron Rodgers did, and a lot of athletes, I guess, who get the Achilles injuries now, they are doing it, and the recovery time is less. But this is still a situation where the offensive line has issues. You got the running back there with Jonathan Taylor. They don't know what they want to do with him. In my opinion, if you got Jonathan Taylor on your team, you better give him the rock 30 times a game. You got to save Daniel Jones. So I don't know what they're going to do with this team. I'm out, man.
I mean, the problem is you're saying, oh, they got to give Jonathan Taylor the ball 30 times. They just came out and said that they want to give the ball less to him and work.
I know, and it's crazy. So, like, how can you do that? Like,
so to sit there
unless they get the other running back involved too.
They got to. I mean, Jonathan Taylor was already a workhorse type back that I thought was already being overused. So at that point, I feel like it's probably a good thing that they try to prolong his career rather than just utilize him, squeeze him as much as they can, and then dump him to the side of the road, like what they typically do with running backs. But according to Daniel Jones and that news, I mean, it's good for him. I mean, he was kind of killing it last year till he got his Achilles torn, and then they kind of just tumbled and fell. I mean, realistically, there you go. Say applause. Good for him. If he's able to pick up where he left off, it's a dangerous team. And they did make the acquisitions last year that didn't work out, but they're still on the team. Therefore, they should still have the efficiency effect of when they all come back together healthy.
Remember when they traded for Sauce Gardner and then proceeded to lose like every single game for the rest of the year?
Yeah.
Tough times. Next piece of news is actually the fact that Colts running back coach DeAndre Smith came out and said that they want to definitely find ways to take some of the workload off of Jonathan Taylor. I know Nader, mentioned it. Transparently speaking, this to me feels like, preseason crap. Like, I'm not buying it. Jonathan Taylor is 27 years old. He only has a, handful of years left of his prime. Sure. Maybe instead of him getting, 25, 28 touches a game, like maybe it's more like 22 to 24. At the end of the day, Jonathan Taylor is still going to be extremely efficient and be extremely productive, in my opinion. So I'm taking that news with a grain of salt.
I mean, I'm already not a fan of Jonathan Taylor. To me, like, this just gives me all the more reason to sit there and say, yeah, you know what? I'm validated at this point. I'm proven correct at this point that he's not necessarily somebody that you want to be targeting in your redrafts. And of course, we're talking running backs today. So we're definitely going to be talking about Jonathan Taylor a lot in this episode because you guys have him just so high up on your rankings.
Hey, Tipp,
question. We'll talk about that in a moment. Yeah, what you got?
We'll talk. We'll dive into it. You know what your boy Derek Carr's up to these days by chance?
I don't care, but okay. He was a Raider, but what?
Well, anyways, Derek Carr was speaking on NFL Network's Good Morning Football last Friday. Legacy Raider quarterback said that clubs have been
Legacy Raider. Whoa! That does not go with Derek Carr.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, Raider quarterback. You need to take the legacy out. Sorry.
Next to
that
Rich
was
Gannon.
the joke. That was the joke.
Rich Gannon, who's a better quarterback?
Regardless, clubs have been calling him. Clubs have been reaching out to him, and he, quote unquote, hasn't been slamming the door completely on a return if the right situation arose. Kevin Patra of NFL.com reported.
He's better than
probably not much legs there, but I had to say something. I mean, it's I would imagine
that legacy does not need to be in front of his name. I'm sorry.
Other than Rich Gannon, who was better than Derek Carr?
Say that again.
Out of Raiders quarterbacks, other than Rich Gannon, who was better than Derek Carr?
Well, I mean, you got Jim Plunkett, and now these are quarterbacks that were before my time, but Jim Plunkett, Jeff Hostetler.
Don't care about
you got
Marcus Russell.
Well, I mean, they did good. I mean, come on. What do you mean?
Like literally, Derek Carr is like the best draft pick the Raiders had in the last
Let's go to the next segment, please.
No. Last piece of news. Malik, this is important. Last piece of news. Malik Neighbors could miss the first 4 to 5 games of the season. Jordan Rannon of ESPN is the source. I think we've all kind of, had thoughts around this. We've been hearing rumors about it, but, someone from ESPN, coming out and I guess further solidifying that he could miss the first 4 or 5 games. Guys, I think we're looking at a pup list to start. I don't think we're going to be seeing them. So however you view the Giants offense, all you fantasy managers out there, I would proactively plan for no Malik Neighbors for the first couple of weeks of the season. But let's get into some running backs. Let's do it.
Oh my God. All right. You know what? We're going to hit some running backs rankings. And of course, we have some tiers along with it if you really want to incorporate that into the way that you look at running backs. But of course, in my opinion, it's not the biggest importance in the world. But let's start talking about some running backs.
Running back tiers.
All right, Nader. So you are the lone wolf here when it comes to the number one running back, and you chose Bijan Robinson, who I absolutely love. However, this year, Nico and myself picked Jahmyr Gibbs. Why Bijan this year?
I mean, just take a look at him and his resume. It's the epitome of consistency that only realistically Christian McCaffrey has when he's healthy. I mean, you're talking about a guy that doesn't get game script out of games. You're talking about a guy, if they're down, he's getting receptions. They're up, they're getting carries. He's getting touchdowns regardless. The offense revolves around him. With the Lions, it doesn't necessarily revolve around Gibbs. It revolves around Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Laporta, Gibbs, everybody into that offense. With Bijan, he is the guy on that team. You could sprinkle in a little bit of Drake London. You could sprinkle in a little bit of, I'm not even going to talk about the tight end.
You better say his name. You better say Kyle Pitts, sir.
I'm not saying his name.
He just got paid. You got to respect him.
I ain't respecting anything. I will not put respect on his name. And
you will. You're gonna be doing the Pitts dance. I'm telling you.
Yeah, okay, but hey, okay. He is the offense, and not only that, he has the better division to play against. He doesn't really have an elite defense in the division that you're like, oh man, it's a tough matchup for him. But you know what? I still think he'll get it done. No, when he plays a divisional team, you expect 15, 20 fantasy points bare minimum with him. And that's kind of how I rate my rankings on a lot of the players. When I do look at them, it's how easy is it, or I should say, how easy is it for you to accumulate 15 fantasy points? Can you do it without getting a touchdown? Can you do it with just receptions and yards? Can you do it with both? Can you do it with, or are you touchdown dependent in order to get 15 fantasy points? Do you need multiple touchdowns to get 15 fantasy points? Or do you need an injury for you to be able to get 15 fantasy points from the guy ahead of you? And with Bijan Robinson, if he puts up 15 fantasy points, I expect it to say 0 touchdowns that day, because that's like the bare minimum with him. With Gibbs, I have no idea what it is because it's his first time being in that spot.
Nico, you want to go on this one, or you want me to respond first?
You're already on the floor, man. Go for it.
Okay, all right. Look, you just talked a lot about offense. And who's on a better offense as of right now? We know the Detroit Lions is a better offense. We don't even know who their quarterback's going to be right now, Nader. And yes, I agree with you as far as Bijan Robinson being the focal point in that offense. He is the offense, even though they've got some studs on that offense as well, including Kyle Pitts. And so I look, they've got a lot of questions to answer, especially with a new offensive philosophy scheme. I do like it for Bijan Robinson with Kevin Stefanski being there, but Kevin Stefanski, other than that, I think it was that 1 year where Nick Chubb just went crazy bananas. He usually would share the rock with another running back. So I do think that Brian Robinson's going to become something a little bit more. They're going to want to look. Bijan has not. Every season he's played, he's been healthy. And you want to keep him that way. And you want to make sure that you monitor his touches the best that you can. And I think that that's going to start to scale down a little bit because he is such a weapon and he is such a force. Nico, what do you think?
Yeah, for me, I have Gibbs as my number one running back in my rankings over Bijan, and it's truthfully one simple reason. It's the better offense, and it's a lesser RB2 in the room for competition. I truly believe that, Brian Robinson Jr. is a better version of what he is today compared to what Isaiah Pacheco is in Detroit. And when you look at fantasy points, like I see Gibbs getting more touchdowns, and all of their production, efficiency, and opportunity numbers do align very closely, but at that point, I'm looking at the tiebreaker as, the Lions have the significantly better offense. And I believe that Gibbs and his 18 touchdowns from last year is obviously a ceiling, but I see him getting in the end zone more than Bijan does. And for that reason, I ranked Gibbs over Bijan as my number one running back.
And one other thing too, Nader, like I feel that just like you talked about how Bijan can't get scripted out of games, that's really the same thing for Jahmyr Gibbs, because if they're down big, he's going to be on the field because they're going to be passing a lot. If they're up big, he's going to be on the field as well. I mean, yeah, you might sprinkle in some Pacheco here and there as a grinding out if they're like blowing somebody out. But I think that he's just as game scripted proof or matchup or whatever you want to call it. I think that Jahmyr Gibbs is just that dude. It really comes down to the offense and the question marks that the Atlanta Falcons have. But Nico, I think you got the next one.
Yeah, and just to put a bow on this conversation, I know we talked about it a handful of weeks ago. Like, ultimately, they're both fantastic picks, but if you're combing through it, you have to come together with a tiebreaker. And, at the end of the day, when you look at total offense, I'm actually shocked Nader didn't go with Gibbs. You've talked a lot about, drafting good players on good teams, and I'm not going to sit here and say the Falcons are a great team, but they're denying like I do believe Bijan is the better running back. But when you look at the two teams and the offenses and the production that I expect them to put up, like Gibbs is going to be the focal point and, score more touchdowns. So.
There we go. Look, we got Debro in the building, and Debro says that Bijan's doing 1K this year.
I mean, he's not wrong. He is going 1K. And see with Bijan, and you guys say like, oh, he doesn't have a good quarterback, but I mean, he's done it without a good quarterback his whole career, which is why I'm a little bit more safer or more willing to take a risk on a player like that, even though it's not even a risk, because he's just done it for so long. He's just so consistent, and he could do it without the game script going in his favor, like we always mention. And
stop saying the game, because Gibbs is just as with game script proof.
With Goff, and my concern with him is that when he has a bad game, he just makes it so much worse. Like, he is known for his 5 interception games where he just kind of implodes. So sometimes when the game script goes bad, you think, oh, he's going to get receptions. But with Goff, sometimes it just kind of gets out of hand in a really awkward way.
Well, one thing that I do know is that us three agree on anything, but somehow, some way, we all have Jonathan Taylor as our RB5. Now, I'm going to give a couple reasons as to why I have him there. And number one for me is the evolution of James Cook and his potential to get more receiving work this year. We talked about it on our show last week. They came out and said that they're trying to get James Cook more involved in the pass game. He is one of the most elite runners in the NFL. And the one downfall for James Cook has been his receiving upside. He's been averaging about 40 targets a year. And if we can get that number, closer to 60, 70 or so targets, I mean, James Cook to me is a more efficient runner than Jonathan Taylor, which is why when I went through my rankings, I decided to go with James Cook at 4 and Jonathan Taylor at 5. Second reason, it is a little bit about the offense. I mean, I'm a little worried about the Colts offense with Daniel Jones coming off the Achilles tear. I know we talked about it earlier, and he's up and moving. He's participating and is a full go, if you will. But all the talks about reducing JT's workload and things like that, combine that with the Bills just having a better overall offense, that was the decision breaker for me to slide James Cook up to 4 and Jonathan Taylor to number 5.
So
Yeah,
with
go ahead,
Jonathan
Nader.
Taylor, with Jonathan Taylor at 5, I have him there out of like decency. He's a hard don't draft. He's a hard ignore him. He's like, hey, I'd rather you take a wide receiver than take Jonathan Taylor. And there's multiple reasons that we discussed earlier, either the touches regression, the offense, the system, but a lot of it is actually just kind of like the momentum of the schedule that he has. I mean, week 1, 2, and 3, he goes against the Ravens, Chiefs, and Texans. Bad matchups to start the year. But honestly, what really kind of like makes me shy away from him a little bit more than everything that goes on, other than the fact that they historically combust near the end of the season, but he has a week 13 bye. So for a lot of people, that's like the week before playoffs. And if you're in a win it to in it type of scenario and he's on a bye, you lost. Like, you lost your week. That's it. It's over for you. The season's done. And say you happen to make your way past that, he goes against the Eagles, another bad matchup, and you're probably bounced out of playoffs there anyway. So, like,
well, then why do you have him at 5?
It's just out of respect at that point. It's like,
you're still doing the respect thing. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
If I took him out of the list in general, then like it's just not a legitimate list. Like, I have to put him there out of like, I just have to put him in there. But like, he's just not draftable in my opinion. I don't want him on my roster. I feel like somebody else has to take the fall for you. Let somebody else make that mistake, not you. Like, you could take him on Ron the St. Brown. He's a lot more consistent in that spot. You could take any other wide receiver in that spot. You could just go for another RB. James Cook is probably going to be available at that point. I know we all have him consistent as 5, but I don't think his ADP is 5. I think it's a little bit higher, if I'm not correct on that.
I wanted to just point out, but Kyle beat me to it. Let's not worry about December and July.
You have to.
Listen. How about this? Let's go off script a little bit. Do you guys look at bye weeks, like when you're drafting? Because I don't. Things change so much during a season when it comes to like waiver wire pickups, trades that you make. Like, to me, like, I'm never looking at bye weeks at this point. I'm looking at best value. I'm looking at people that I think give me the best chance and the best upside to obviously win my league. So many things change like during a season that I'm not looking at stuff like that. Week 13 is pretty late though.
I will say
it's an awkward spot.
Yeah, that is. But what I will say is I do look at bye weeks it depends on what type of league you're in, of course. But if I do look at bye weeks just to know, just to be like, okay, I'm safe, or okay, week 10, I'm in some deep, so I just kind of prepare myself that way. But it's a redraft league, I just know that week 10 is going to be a bad week for me. I'm probably going to score 30 points. But if all the other weeks are shaping up to be really well, then I'm not going to worry about it so much, especially if I'm stacking or if I have some players that I could benefit from a stack. So I do look at the bye weeks, but it does depend on the type of league that you're in. If you're like, in a guillotine type league, you definitely need to look at it because you don't want to be stuck out like Chuck. So I do look at bye weeks. And another thing I look at with Jonathan Taylor, is reason I have him at number 5, is I think he's going to get a lot of touches. I think Nicho is right. Nicho is onto something, that this could just be pre-training camp, coach speak. And, they're probably just trying to light a fire under him because they know they're going to give him the ball 30 plus times a game, because there's no way this team's going to win without Jonathan Taylor carrying the load. Like there's no way.
That
They're not
offense
gonna win
is so
regardless.
vanilla.
Sorry.
That offense is so vanilla that they need to run it through Jonathan Taylor. There's no
I'm
doubt
sorry.
about that.
So for me, just off the sheer respect thing that Nader was talking about, and the sheer opportunity and volume that he could be getting off the rip, that's why I like Jonathan Taylor. That's why I got him.
He's been.
I did move him down a little bit because I do like the James Cook. I'm starting to like James Cook a lot more, especially with some of the things
coming around to
they're
that.
saying about him. But
one last thing with Jonathan Taylor too
amazing.
is he did see a massive increase in his receiving work last year, which helped elevate him. I mean, he had the previous 3 seasons, he had 28 receptions, 19 receptions, 18 receptions, and last year he had 46, which is a pretty significant increase. And, for those of you that have been listening into the show, you know that I love my running backs with receiving upsides. So that for me is kind of what kept him in that, high end tier 2, if you will.
So like right now, Jonathan Taylor, his ADP is about 7th pick. Christian McCaffrey is 6th. Like if you have the opportunity for either or, which one are you taking? I know for me, it's Christian McCaffrey, no brainer.
CMC. And I have him ranked higher than Jonathan Taylor. I better be saying CMC.
I have Jonathan Taylor ranked higher than CMC right now. I have CMC, I think it's 7. And I have Jonathan Taylor at 5.
Place.
So I'm still going to.
CMC is fair.
Look. I am a big proponent and a big believer in the curse of 370. I'm just going to keep it at that. And I think that Christian McCaffrey, I think the wheels could fall off again, guys. I mean, he had a lot of he had a lot of touches outside of in between the tackles, like running in lanes and things like that, catching the ball or in space. I like that. I love that. But they got Mike Evans now. Supposedly George Kittle's coming back like week 1. So I mean, what they not gonna throw it to Mike Evans? Chris McCaffrey's gonna end up running the ball again and get hurt. I'm sorry. What?
No, I was the one that cut you off. I should be the one saying sorry.
No, it's
listen,
cool. It's cool.
One thing real quick is like with CMC, the range of outcomes with him is literally RB1 or RB50. So like,
right,
no matter where you want to put him in that 3 to 6 range or whatever it might be, I'm ranking him based off of, we're not going to think about the injury, but obviously you make some really valid points.
Hot take.
Slow down with Kittle. Jano says it's all smoke. I mean, I agree. Like, I honestly, I don't think Kittle even plays. Just like Malik Neighbors, I don't think he plays like the first handful of weeks with an Achilles. I mean,
it's been reported now.
I mean, so did Janet. I mean, what's his name? I can't think of his name. All of a sudden, Colts quarterback.
Who? Give us a
Jones. Dano Jones, right?
Danny
I mean, he got reported. Like, I don't know. Didn't Kittle have his Achilles injury like later than Dano Jones?
I'd be shocked.
Yeah, it was super late, dude.
Yeah, so and
I feel like one of our first couple episodes, Tipp was talking about like, and you run and you cut and you run and you cut, and he was talking about George Kittle and how like, listen, for a quarterback, it's completely different. Like you're chilling in the pocket. Like I think Daniel Jones might see his rushing upside, obviously come down, which could obviously lead a lot more to more receiving work for Jonathan Taylor in the passing game, quick dump offs. But yeah, as like a wide receiver or a tight end or someone who's, blocking a D end where like you're kind of like that Achilles. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, that's what scares me. That's what scares me with George Kittle.
I'm not buying the Kittle being back right away. Yeah.
Well, that's what scares me is like re-injury because he loves that. Like that. He'd rather block than catch a 20-yard slant route. Like he's that type of dude. Like, but that's what scares me like about him, and that's why I'm not drafting him anywhere. Is like is he really going to be that? I'm not asking you to sit back in the pocket and throw a pass. I'm asking you to block a 300, 400-pound dude. Like, I don't know. I'm
Donald
nervous
and
about
Myles Garrett.
Right.
them
Like,
now.
right. Oh my God. Could you imagine that? Oh, okay.
Oh my God. But all righty. Okay, so right now there's a Kenneth Walker discussion that we had. Tipp had him like, what was it? No, sorry, Nico, you had him as what, RB7?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk to us about that one because
Yeah, because me and Nader, we have him both in the RB2 range, like right outside the top 12. But you are firmly higher on him at RB7. And yes, we do need to discuss this.
And listen, I mean, for anybody that watched playoff football last year, you'll know exactly why. He went off and he went nuclear. There was no Zach Charbonnet in the mix, and the Chiefs had no run game last season, and it caused Patrick Mahomes to essentially do everything, run around like a madman, make plays, and Walker's really going to help come in and stabilize this run offense. The Chiefs had one rush yard last year of over 20 yards. Walker, even in his limited snaps that he had in Seattle with Charbonnet, he had 10. I mean, he's a true home run breakout type of player, and the Chiefs haven't had an elite running back in a long time, and I fully believe in Andy Reid's ability to maximize his talent while he's still in his prime, and will make this whole offense be significantly better. And let's also not forget, too, that, like, Mahomes is coming off an ACL injury. You know, they're going to want to lean on the run game. And that's why they went and got this guy. They knew that they wanted this guy, and they went and got this guy. Walker was 12th in yards per touch, 1st in juke rate, 6th in evaded tackles, and 4th in explosive rating. And he has, I mean, you can have your own opinions on this, but to me, he has no competition. DeMarcado, what's he going to do? Drop the football on the 1 yard line after a 60-yard run?
Oh,
Rookie Emmett Johnson, he's going to be the bell cow in an elite offense. To me, I'm all in on Kenneth Walker. I have him ranked over, Genty, Chase Brown, Hampton, A-Chain, Derrick Henry. And that's probably around the range where you guys are starting to put him. Whereas me, on the other hand, I'm playing this upside, and the situation could not be any better. And I truthfully think, with Mahomes and his ACL, he can even get even more involved in the receiving game as well and get those touchdown numbers up, which obviously Clint Kubiak was not letting him do in Seattle.
I mean, there's no Zach Charbonnet haunting his dreams over there in Kansas City. Let me tell you that much. But I mean, you're completely right. They haven't had an elite running back since Kareem Hunt in 2017. Since then, they haven't even had a 1,000-yard rusher. And to be honest, to me, that's not necessarily the running back's fault. They've had talented running backs throughout that roster. It's a scheme and a talent issue when it comes to the run blocking on the offensive line. And I think that didn't really get that much better this year. I mean, they don't have any deep passing threats that I'm going to sit there and say that other teams need to significantly respect to stop teams from sitting there and stacking the box. And because of that, I mean, he's just going to face another stacked box type of defense, making it so he just might have to struggle another year on another team with the ball. I mean, it's not like, Travis Kelce is in his prime forcing double coverages. It's not like there's a Tyreek Hill forcing triple coverages. It's not like there's just other receiving threats that you respect so much that you have to sit there and play a too high type of defense, forcing teams to be able to run the ball underneath, which way Kenneth Walker likes to vertically down the field. But right now he doesn't necessarily have that scenario unless something happens that the Chiefs are able to really scheme up a way for him to get those zone scheme blocking holes up the middle. I'm struggling to see a difference. Right now, it's just a different nameplate on the back of the jersey.
I mean, I'll give him a little bit more credit than that. It's just there's a lot of unknowns, and the biggest unknown for me is Patrick Mahomes. And if I can get if I can get a clarification, and I think people are there's rumblings out there. You hear it. I mean, they say he's ready to go. He should be fine for week 1, all that stuff. And then, but you just never know. I mean, last sighting, I guess he was at the wedding. So, I mean, I haven't seen him since then on the field. So, I don't know. I just want to see. And then I can really get a grasp on this offense a little bit more. But I will say this. This is one thing that I do like. I do like that Eric Bieniemy is over there, because Eric Bieniemy is one of those guys. He's a no-nonsense guy. Kenneth Walker even seems like a no-nonsense type dude. I even remember going back to the championship parade when he was on the stage and the owner was blabbermouthing, talking about, we're going to pay this man. And he just kind of had this smirk on it, like, well, you're going to pay me or I'm going to leave. Like, he's about business. Like, he wants to win, but he's about business. So I'm still going to wait and see with Kenneth Walker. You named some players, Ashton Genty. You named Chase Brown. Hell, even Derrick Henry. I just would feel a little bit more comfortable with some of those guys in redraft, just because, I know the Ashton Genty thing is a little that's a question mark, but I'm willing to take a risk on it, and that's not me being a homer. Stop, Nader. But I really am willing to take a risk on it. I just don't know if I'm willing to take a risk on Kenneth Walker just yet.
See, okay. Shout out to Catfish Billy. Sorry, my bad on that one. Apparently, hey, it's not my fault. You have good.
You hungry?
Yeah, and I'm actually really hungry, and I started preheating a steak. I pre-seasoned a steak, so as soon as we hit end stream, like, I'm just gonna go cook that steak. So I mean, of course, yeah, I am hungry. He says that we're his favorite podcast to listen to. Let me tell him, you have good taste. Oh. Hey, good taste. Hey, that's all I gotta say.
Appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate you.
Same with Jay Snow. Hey, they got good taste. That's all I gotta say. So let me tell you who does it. People who like Ashton Genty. And Tipp is that guy. And he put him in top 3. Like, actually, you didn't actually rank him in the top 3. You say
no. I just said let's make the case.
Yeah, nobody's making that case for him being. I'll let you make the case for him being top 3.
Well, so there's several reasons, right? The first reason for me is the Clint Kubiak thing. Clint Kubiak's going to come in here and he is just going to redefine this offense. It's going to take a minute because, you do have Kirk Cousins there. You do have a learning Fernando Mendoza, but he's been learning for a minute now, and he's a smart, sharp kid. So I think either one of these running backs or quarterbacks can get Genty the ball. I think that he's going to get the ball a ton in the passing game. And then not only that, I look at this red zone efficiency. Last year, the red zone was non-existent to the Raiders, right? I think that this year we're going to get a little bit more opportunities in the red zone. Last year, I think we scored 14 points a game. This year, I think I'm going up to about 21 points. I think we can get an extra touchdown out of that. And if we get an extra touchdown per game, there's a good bet, very good bet that Ashton Genty is going to be on the other end of those touchdowns. Yes, of course, you got Brock Bowers, but when they get down there to the goal line, they're going to use Ashton Genty. I'm not worried about Mike Washington Jr. just yet. Towards the middle of the season, I might. But right now, man, I think Ashton Genty can run away with this thing. Clint Kubiak's already talked about a Christian McCaffrey-esque role for him. So I'm not, again, worried about Mike Washington Jr. I think that this is the Ashton Genty show. I think that as long as he stays upright and stays on that field, he will return top 5, dare I say, top 3 running back in fantasy. Nader, you make the case now.
I can't make the case.
No.
Let's
save you
for
last. You're right.
Like,
no. Let's save you for last. Go ahead, Nico. Nope, save you for last.
Save Nader for last.
Yes.
Well, listen.
Yes.
So we all obviously have, or I guess I know Tipp does, and I know I do. Nader, he's the contrarian of the pack. I don't know where he's got Genty, but I have him ranked as my RB8. Now, if I'm making a case for him as a top 3 running back, I mean, my case, truthfully, at that point just revolves around the kid's talent and an improved offensive environment. That includes their offensive line, signing center Tyler Linderbaum. I mean, that dude's a beast. And obviously, like, the offensive mind that Clint Kubiak now brings, and replacing this really weird situation last year with Pete Carroll, and he had like his was it like his son was like the offensive something or
Something like
another,
that.
and like
Yeah.
he wouldn't
Oh,
fire
yeah,
him or
he was
something like
offensive
that. But
line,
like
yeah.
it was just a really weird situation. And I think that is the core reason as to why the Raiders completely fell apart last year. But I believe Genty will have bell cow usage. Tipp, you mentioned it. There's no
Yeah.
competition. Like I'm not worried about, Kubiak coming in and wanting to do a timeshare situation. I do think he's going to be heavily involved in the passing game. You have two immobile quarterbacks in Cousins and Mendoza. So to me, it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is, honestly, for Genty's sake. And Genty's an elite talent, man. I mean, he was 7th in yards created, 5th in juke rate, 4th in evaded tackles last year. And that was all while he was seeing a ton of defenders in the box, stacked fronts, because that offense was not moving the ball, and defenses would come in and be like, this is the one guy that we got to stop. And that wasn't his fault. And I see a lot of improvement there. That would be my case for him as a top 3 RB. Do I have him there? No. Is it in this realm of outcomes? Yes.
So I was looking back at some of my stats here on Clint Kubiak, right? So Clint Kubiak led offenses. He in 2021 with the Minnesota Vikings, your Minnesota Vikings, Nicho. His RB's receptions was 94. 2024 New Orleans Saints 97. Seattle last year was still good, but not in the 90s. It was at 53. So it's an average of 81 in those 3 seasons where Clint Kubiak has led the offense. So if he leads this offense again, I don't see a reason why Ashton Genty can't have 55 plus catches this year. And that's just full on workhorse.
Let me tell you
why. I'll
give you a great
Please
reason.
tell me.
He's on the Raiders. Like, what do you expect? He's on the Raiders. Like,
Boom.
nothing good ever happens to the Raiders.
Wait, how's his hairline though?
Oh yeah, you got to check his hairline.
Genty's got locks, bro. He's got nice.
He's got a
set of
decent
locks,
hairline.
bro.
I mean, you're
hairline.
Me
that's what it is.
The guy that averaged negative yards per contact or before getting contacted is going to somehow have a top 3 RB season. No, it's not going to happen. The same thing's going to happen last year. It's just going to rinse and repeat. He might average a yard after the line of scrimmage this year before contact. Like, you're telling me RB3, RB echelon, RB1? No, he's going to be an RB2, specifically volume based. Like, I have him ranked number 9 in my rankings, specifically
so
because
he's still RB1.
No, I put him in the RB2 range, but I specifically
then he's
put
not.
him there.
Wait. If he's in RB2, then he's got in a 12-team league, he would be like number 13, 14. Do you have him as an RB1?
No,
admit it, Nader. You have Ashton Genty, who's on the Raiders, as an RB1.
He does?
No, because it was nobody else was better, not because he's that good. It's like it would just be unrealistic and just rage bait if I was to put somebody else above that category. Like right now, I have him at 9. Omarion Hampton is number 8, so I fully believe in Omarion Hampton over Ashton Genty. He's going to be playing in the better offense, better system, and they're equal talents in my opinion. It's making it so he's going to have more opportunities, or in this case, better opportunities to produce fantasy points. It's nothing against Ashton Genty, but I don't think the offense did anything that great to sit there and tell me, hey, he is going to be a star-studded fantasy productive running back. It's just going to be the same as it was last year, where it's like only if you had a better team. And it's not like Mendoza is better than Geno Smith. We don't know that. He's going to go through his rookie season. He's going to go through the growing pains, and he's going to go through all this. And then we're just going to sit there and say, oh man, we're going to make all the excuses of why Genty was the same way he was last year. And it's just because you got to look at the team over him. Tip. I don't know what to tell you on this one. I mean,
we could talk about this all day, but
we can.
Let's talk about someone else.
Thank God. All righty.
All right. So the Cardinals RB rankings. Okay. So what did you guys think this was? Did you think it was dynasty? I mean, you guys went with Jeremiah Love at 18. I saw yours, Nicho, and I just don't see a way of having him this high.
Tipp, brother, I got to be honest with you here. I don't know why you're asking this question. Most rankings that I've come across have him as like a low end RB1, high end RB2, like 12, 13. I have him at 18.
I have him
well
at
then
18.
well okay, well
You need to
then
fact
you
check
guys are
yourself,
high
Tip.
on him. You guys are
Fake
high
news,
on
this
him.
guy.
Where do you have
You
him?
guys are high on him.
Yeah,
The
where do
people
you have him?
I'm like 24, 25. I'm 24 right now,
Ooh.
guys. I think that I just don't see a path for this kid, man. I really don't. I know he's talked a good game. I know that he said some really like, give me the ball, or I'm not. He didn't wait. I think he said give me the ball at first, or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. And then he said that he doesn't need to touch the ball all the time to be effective. Well, damn it! I don't want you on my fantasy team. Then I'm sorry. If you don't want the ball, I don't like that. That's my whole thing about Jeremiah Love is not just that. It's also that he's got a pissed off Tyler Algier over there. He's got James Conner still over there. He's got Trey Benson. They're in a bad offense. They're going to be tossing the ball around a lot, and I get that they may have a lot of red zone opportunities. But what, they just going to forget about Tyler Algier? I just don't see it. Now, if Dynasty, I get it. Now, in redraft, which this show, we are mainly talking redraft, just don't see him being that high at 18. But I commend you guys for sticking to your guns and not going with the other people, because them having that, who I don't know who they are, but whoever had him at 12 in a redraft, oh, please miss me.
Oh, I think that's just an attempt at a hot take when somebody does something like 12 on a redraft. It's kind of like almost putting Ashton Genty as top 3. I mean, with Jeremiah Love, it could just be purely volume based, same way as we saw Genty last year. I mean, nobody really complained about Genty being in the 18th range last year, and he was arguably on a worse team, in a worse system, in just as much of a difficult division. I mean, we're sitting there talking about, like, the Niners NFC West division being difficult, but I mean, the AFC West division is just as difficult, because I mean, they got the Broncos, the Chargers, and then the Chiefs defense for like teams to worry about. And we're just going to strike the Raiders because they're not a real team, but like, it's difficult for people to sit there and say, oh, Jeremiah Love is a complete trash running back right now, and then last year turn around and see people say, oh, Ashton Genty is a surefire top 10 pick. Volume base is going to produce fantasy points whether we like it or not. And because of that, there aren't 18 running backs that I would rather have, there isn't more than 18 running backs that I would rather have over Jeremiah Love. Like, you're going to tell me Cam Scatterbo over Jeremiah? No, you're not going to do that. You'd be unrealistic. Quenchon Judkins over? No, like, don't be like ridiculous. Bucky Irvin? No, like, it's at that point, you're just self-sabotaging your fantasy team if you try to mentally play mind games with yourself to conjure the fact that Jeremiah Love isn't going to randomly put up fantasy points just due to volume.
Mm-hmm.
Are we forgetting that he was drafted 3rd overall?
Exactly.
Yes, I get
So,
it. I'm happy for him. He got more.
I want to make this crystal clear to those listening. Jeremiah Love is not somebody that I am targeting. Now, yes, I have him ranked as my 18th overall running back. At the end of the day, I believe that his talent alone will help him be productive. I view him as the running back in this offense that is going to be taking a majority of the workload in between the 20s and a lot of the receiving work too. And at the end of the day, we've talked about, this division and the Rams and their, superstar team and stuff. And we all know the Cardinals are going to be, playing for that 1st overall pick next year. There's going to be a lot of receiving opportunity to be had. I believe that they're going to try to run the ball. It's more of a volume based lower end RB2 for me. And you don't just draft or invest in a top pick like Jeremiah Love and not use him. And I truthfully believe that, yes, I think Algier's going to have his spike weeks, just like he did with Bijan the week before. I absolutely could see a, 30-yard, 2-touchdown outing from him. And that's why Love doesn't have the ceiling to me to be like a low end RB1 or something like that. But I still think he's going to get a lot of the workload, and he's going to get the receiving upside to still be fantasy relevant. I currently have him again ranked at 18, and that's behind Kyron Williams, Javonte Williams, Brees Hall, and ETN, but right before Cam Scattaboo and David Montgomery.
Yeah, that Cam Scattaboo is interesting. That's an interesting one. But you know what? Nonetheless, our wonderful and gracious producer Kelly Phoenix is behind the scenes. She'll be on in a moment, but she said that this Cardinals talk is killing her. So, guys, let's move on to the next section.
Oh, painful.
Nader, I think you really like this guy, and I'm curious on your take. Where do you have DeAndre Swift? Do you think he's going to finish inside the top 20 at the running back position for the third season in a row?
Yeah, I have him currently at running back 19. So I have him just squeezing into that spot. And he's just a solid running back. He's the epitome of, like, I don't want to say mid, but like slightly above mid. And he has shown that his whole career because he's just consistently turning out consistent seasons, whether it was on the Eagles or now the Bears. He's just in a perfect system that allows him to flourish because he has what you need in order to create an efficient offensive production from the running back position. He's got the gunslinger quarterback. He's got a good offensive coordinator, head coach type of combination. He has a decent offensive line because they completely revamped the offensive line. He's got solid weapons on the outside. He's not going to have stacked boxes that you typically would see on defense or offenses. Or he's not going to see stacked boxes that you typically would with other teams, making it so he's going to have the open lanes and the open opportunities to put up fantasy points. And, top 20 isn't anything crazy because, again, I have Jeremiah Love at number 18, and then right behind him, I have Travion Henderson. But I think he is a perfect pick at the ADP that he's currently on. Really like him. Always going to be attempting to target him whenever I'm actually able to.
Yeah, he's a good one. I was really surprised to see that he's finished in the top 20 because it just doesn't feel like it when you look at his his body of work or you look at like his overall performance over the season. But he's quietly done it, and his counterpart Kyle Manungai can do it too. So I like that. I think that he could finish inside the top 20 as well. So we're going to move on to the next one. We're going to be a little bit negative here. Okay. So these are top 15 running backs who could fall outside the top 30. So I want each of you to give me a running back you currently have ranked inside your top 15 who could fall outside the top 30. This isn't necessarily a player you're fading, but we're talking about a player that it's in your top 15 with the biggest potential for a trap door underneath him. So, Nicho, we're going to start with you.
Oh, man. I'll keep this brief. If I had to pick someone in my top 15 and you both are going to hate it, and I can't pick Jacobs because obviously the legal situation, like, if he plays, then you know what I mean? I'm going to go with Kyron Williams, and it's truthfully because of Blake Corum. Don't think it'll happen, but if I had to pick, which you're kind of putting me on the spot here, outside of the top 30, oh, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll go with Kyron Williams.
Wow. Oof.
That hurts. That hurt to hear. I'm not going to lie.
That hurts me big time.
That hurt. I know.
It's not going to happen.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you put me on the spot.
Know.
You said top 15 RB who could fall outside the top 30. Who do you think is going to be?
Oh, my God.
No, that's
Henry.
It's a good
you know what
name.
I mean? Like,
like, come on. Like that, you already know that's a happen. If someone were to say Derrick Henry, it would be a bad take.
Wait. Go, no.
Exactly.
Nader,
I said it.
Go
Brees
ahead.
Hall is going to be the guy that I'm talking about here. Brees Hall.
You have Brees Hall in your top 15?
I have him actually at 15.
All right.
I have him
curious.
at 15.
Want to make sure
maybe 16. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe 16, but close enough. If you round down. I mean, like Brees Hall is on the Jets, right? And it's like saying he's on the Raiders. Essentially the same thing. It's like saying, oh, would you rather have trash or dumpster? It's like both, same thing. Like Brees Hall, he's same thing as every other bad team in the league, like the Raiders, where good running back, bad quarterback, bad coordinator, bad head coach, bad offensive line, bad weapons on the outside, good division. And that just leads to a negative success factor. And Brees Hall has done that throughout his whole career. He's always been a declining asset that never produces his ADP, and you consistently draft him because hey, he might do it this year, right? Oh, the hot take artists are out again saying, hey, this year he's going to be a top 10 RB. He's not. Like, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say he's going to be good this year. He'll have his good games. He's going to scamper his way into the end zone and produce a decent fantasy value every so often. But like, to sit there and say, oh, I'm going to waste a 3rd round pick on Breece Hall, you lost your league already. It's like taking Ashton Denty, Drake London, and then Breece Hall with your first 3 picks. You lost the league already at that point. Start planning last place punishments.
Is this
courtesy of staying on top of time? I'm not going to argue, but anyways, Tipp, who you got?
Oh, maybe for another day. For me, because I think Nico's Nader's gonna hate this one too. He already alluded to it earlier. Is this the year that Derrick Henry finally just falls off? I mean, we haven't been wanting it because it's just been amazing to watch, but it's like it's any day now or any year now, you know, and I just feel like if it is the time, it is no time like the present, and that could be this season where he just falls off, man. And you know, I don't know what to think about this because I love Derrick Henry, but I think that, you know, I have him as my running back 13 right now, and this just could be that season, man. It could be that season that we've been dreading. On to Mr. Positivity, Nader. You got this.
God. When have I said anything positive this episode?
I didn't like that last segment. Like, people in the comments are like thinking I hate Kyron. It's like, no, I basically, like, you know, I had no choice.
No, guys, no, you gotta understand the question, guys. These are guys that are in our top 15 that we're high on, but that we also understand could fall out of the top 15 or 16, as Nader alluded
most
to.
likely. But also not likely.
Yeah. Unless an injury happens, that's not going to happen, in my opinion. But when you know what, I'll be Mr. Positivity. I'll be Mr. Positivity. I'll do it for you guys.
Let's be positive.
Yeah, let's be positive. I hyped up Jeremiah Love. You know what? I feel like it takes a lot of positivity in order to do. You know, a running back outside the top 20 that's going to finish in the top 10. I'm going Bayshawn Tutin just because I don't really know how to say his name properly. And that's already a key indicator. Yeah, that's a key indicator that he's probably going to be good this year. I mean, he's in the perfect situation. He's in the good scheme on offense, good quarterback, good offensive line, good weapons on the outside, weaker division, and he has everything lined up for him to be fantasy productive. And it's just not going to be a surprise when he does. It's just, can he fall into the end zone more often than not, making him over the top in the top 10 that the top 10 RBs don't necessarily have that issue with. You know, somebody like Christian McCaffrey, you know, he's going to get his red zone looks. Somebody like, Kyron Williams, he's going to get his red zone looks. Derrick Henry, red zone looks. Saquon, red zone look. You know, they're guaranteed looks in the red zone. Somebody like Bayshaw, we don't really know exactly how his red zone production is going to be. But if it is anywhere close to those upper echelon running backs, he is going to finish in the top 10. No issue on that.
Okay.
I like it.
That.
I was actually going to go with Scootin' Tootin. But because if you don't know how to say his name, just say Scootin' Tootin. But because Nader went with Tootin, I'll go with Trevion Henderson here. And now I have him ranked as my 25th overall running back. I do fully believe in the timeshare that he's going to be in with Ramondre. I feel like the Patriots really love Ramondre. We actually talked more in depth about these two in our last episode, but he obviously, it's within his range of outcomes to finish inside the top 10. You know, he obviously has a lead upside, extremely explosive. So I'll go with Trevion Henderson, who I currently have ranked outside the top 20 to 25 as my candidate to have the upside to finish in the top 10.
Well, I'm going to go with Bayshaw Tutin's former teammate, Travis Etienne, because he's actually going to be in a really good situation in New Orleans. I think the Kellen Moore situation with him running the offense, he knows that he likes to utilize his running backs pass catching and running in between the tackles, which Travis Etienne is good at both of those things. Maybe we get to see him get more catches this season. I like Tyler Shuck. I like the offense. There's a lot of things to like. The offensive line has gotten a lot better. So I can see a situation where Travis Etienne could be like one of those guys who are teetering around your top 20, maybe a little right there, could finish inside the top 10 when the season's over with. He's going to have a lot of opportunities to score some points for you this season. So, guys, we got our final segment. This is our plant your flag section. Wow.
Womp, womp.
It's easy to plant your flag on studs like Christian McCaffrey or Devon Achane. That's not what we're doing here, guys. We're going to take some guys who are outside of the top 35 or in our top 35 that we can talk about. We're planting our flag. So, Nicho, we're going to start with you. Who are you planting your flag on?
J.K. Dobbins.
Okay. I like it. 2 seconds. 20 seconds.
I mean, sorry, Tip, what'd you say?
No, it said give me 20 seconds on it. Go, why?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were just saying the player and moving on because we're up.
No,
on
it
time.
says the case.
J.K. Dobbins. I mean, listen, most consensus rankings have him in like the mid 30s. I personally have him at 28. I think there's a lot of inefficiencies with R.J. Harvey. I believe in the offense as a whole. You know, Dobbins is going to get the lion's share, bell cow type of work. He only had 4 touchdowns last year. I see touchdown positive regression coming for him. You know, I could easily see 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns.
Wow. Well, you know how I feel about those running backs over there in Denver and Sean Payton. But go ahead and Nader, who are you planting your flag on?
You know, Catfish Billy said Rashad White, and I'm kind of salty I didn't think of that one because that was a really good one. And now I'm kind of like contemplating my life on that. But I'm going to go with Jadarian Price. I mean, he's in the system and the scheme that you really want your running back to be in. A play action, gunslinger quarterback with 2 elite weapons on the outside, good offensive line. And you know what? The Super Bowl caliber team that just won the Super Bowl, obviously, that are always going to have those positive game scripts that are going to consistently put you in positions to put up fantasy points. My guy.
All right, for me, it's simple. Jonathan Brooks. I think that if everything lines out right for this kid, I think that he can be one of those game-breaking league winners. He's got to stay healthy. Please. I mean, they've been talking so much good things about this kid and how explosive he's looking and how much of a dog he's been in OTAs. And I'm pretty sure he's going to do the same thing in training camp. I can't wait to watch this running back room in Carolina. So I really am going for Jonathan Brooks. I think that he's going to do it. Now, before we close off, Nader, again, guys, we told you earlier we do have a new friend of the show, our producer, Kelly in Phoenix. So can we bring Kelly up real quick, guys?
Should I do that? Here, actually, let me add.
Better.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. No.
There she goes.
There we go. I figured it out.
There she is. What's up, Kelly?
Hey, I just a little production note. There were 2 questions. I put stars by them, so if you want to answer them, you can jump in and grab those. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm so stoked to be here, you guys. This is amazing. I'm having fun, obviously trying to make my way. I have notes for next week, but this has been a blast. I'm so excited to be here with you every week.
There we go.
Kelly, tell us the things that you got working on.
Yeah, I'll go quickly. Most of the things you can find that I'm working on are on Twitter at Kelly in Phoenix. The biggest thing I'm working on right now is National Draft Day, which is August 21st. So you can go to Vegas August 20th through the 22nd. There are all kinds of packages, party packages, draft packages, but check out Draft Nation or look at my whatever it's called profile. I just lost words. Use code Kelly and get 25% off. That's my big project right now.
Awesome. So yeah, we do have some questions that Kelly talked about. We will get to those right now. From the first one is from the Pick is In podcast, it says, does anyone know if James Conner will be okay health-wise? He's an aging running back with injury history. Plus, cuts will come. Maybe trades will help load with this loaded running back room after training camp. Picture will be clearer. So I agree. I think as far as his health-wise, I'm assuming from the reports that I've heard, I haven't heard anything that he's not healthy, that he should be okay. Go ahead, Kelly, because you are.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, yeah, you're right. He's going to be healthy. When we brought I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan. When we brought Trey Benson on last year, James Conner said, I want to split the carries. It was like a passing of the torch, which never happened. So is it going to happen this year? Who knows? They've already spent tons of money. So I see James Conner as RB3 myself. He wants to split carries. I think he's ready to ride off in the sunset. I don't see them trading him either, by the way.
Okay. And we got another question too. It was from Catfish Billy 82. He said, C-Rod, don't take snaps and goal line work. I agree. I think he was talking about your Bashal Tootin, Nader.
Correct.
I think that Chris Rodriguez, I was really, really, really high on him at the beginning. Then the foot injury thing came around, and then it started to make me a little nervous. And then, Liam Cohen saying, we need him on the field to evaluate him. So I don't know what to think on this one yet. I think he was supposed to be, or he is going to be the goal line back as long as he's healthy. Yes, I do agree with that. That could take some things away from Bashal Tootin.
Exactly, and that's kind of why he's the outside the top 20, and I'm hoping he enters the top 10. It's just what's going to happen in the red zone. If he gets some of those red zone touches and gets those end zone looks, then he's going to be top 10 potential. If not, then no, he's in the back of the RB2 type of territory.
His range of outcomes is very similar to some of the other running backs we talked about, where the range of outcomes could be low end RB1, while it also could be he's in a true timeshare with, C-Rod and, C-Rod's vulturing all the touchdowns. But hopefully we'll get some more visibility into that as camp progresses and kicks off.
Nader, you want to take us home, brother?
All right. Well, of course, you're going to want to make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Of course, hit the like, leave a comment what you think about the show or any questions that you want us to answer. And of course, if you're watching on X, make sure to hit that follow, retweet, comment, and of course, repost anything that we post, because we only post the best content on the internet, not just on X, the internet all in general. So you're going to want to make sure that you're up to date on the channel, because of course, when we're posting those updates, when we're posting those clips, articles, transactions, all that good stuff, you're going to want to make sure that you're on the page ready to see it as it happens live. But other than that, hey, did I forget anything, boys?
No, we do have our oh no, you said it. You said the link. So no, you're good. Never mind, brother. My bad.
Nico, other than that, all righty. Signing off, boys. Good luck.